Welcome to the latest Commander battle in our Horde series. As you already know from the video's title, our Horde flavor this time is... oh right, we didn't put the name of the Horde in the video name. Ha! Okay, this time the team is facing... Eldrazi Horde! Or perhaps you like Terminator, since there are a bunch of Sentinel-like creatures with 9/9 golems. Just realizing we've done a Horde incorporating every color, or lack of a color, except blue, for all you cloners who hate blue. Blue, the clone color. Sorry. Speaking of annoying blue decks, we have Rob this game playing his prime Speaker Zegana deck. This deck is as combo-centric as his Niv Mizzet deck, with both Peregrine Drake and Deadeye Navigator. Still, that's the kind of deck you're going to want when you're going up against something like Emrakul the Eon's Torn, or even his wimpy cousin, Diet Emrakul. I'm playing Zedruu the Greathearted for some reason. We'll see how effective the Minotaur will be against some Annihilation. Kyle played another game with us before going back to Nuke School. He's playing Rob's the Gitrog Monster deck. Don't get too excited, he never actually casted this game. And finally, we have Brian playing... You know what? I actually have no effing idea what Brian's commander is this game. You know what? I'm just going to go with him playing Roon of the Hidden Realm. I like Roon. Now, I really want to stress I made this deck as unfair as possible, while still keeping the theme and without it being totally silly, like having 99 Emrakuls or something like that. This time, we think it only fitting that both the Horde and our team start at 100 life. And as an additional rule, just so we have somewhat of a chance, we are also playing that the Horde's creatures don't have automatic haste by default, as we've done in our previous videos. The team will take 2 turns at the start, and the Horde is dead when it runs out of cards in hand, library, and on the battlefield. Gonna be hard to run out of cards in the library with guys like these. We mulligan and start with Zedruu, casting both Soul Ring and Howling Mine. Howling Mine isn't necessarily a good card against Horde. On our turn 2, the Gitrog Monster plays a ramp spell. Zegana plays Survival of the Fittest. Not bad. Zedruu plays Ghostly Prison. Okay, now here's where I make a case for playing effects like Ghostly Prison in Horde. You can say that it's a dead card if you want, since the Horde has infinite mana. What we do is that it's a conditional stopper where it only stops the biggest power creature by default, to keep things fair. Now for the Horde's first turn, things start innocently enough with the Horde cascading into 2 Scion tokens, Artisan Kozilek from its first draw, and Pathrazer of Ulamog from its second draw. At the end of the turn, Zedruu Path to Exiles Pathrazer of Ulamog. Seems fitting. Then on our turn 3, Zedruu starts by casting Grasp of Fate to exile Horde's other annihilating creature, Wood Elves from Zegana, Explosive Vegetation from the Gitrog Monster, and Roon breaks his Corrosion Verge for a Plains Forest combo. On the Horde's next turn, they first hoard 3 Scion tokens and an Eldrazi token, and Mr. 710 Split himself, Sundering Titan. Didn't think you'd see that guy in a game of Commander again, did you? The Horde attacks with 1 token for 1 damage, as the Ghostly Prison stops the other token. On the team's turn 4, Zedruu casts Preordain, and then proceeds to miss a land drop. Oracle Moldiah from Roon. Gitrog Monster casts that new land getting guy. Dang it, I'm gonna have to look him up. Hang on a second. Uvenwald Hydra. I would not have gotten that. He gets Urborg Tuma Yawgmoth with the Hydra. Zedruu casts Paradox Haze, cursing himself. Then on the Horde's next turn, for its first draw, it doesn't get any tokens, but does cast Desolation Twin, so it actually does get a token. Then for its second draw, it hoards a Scion token, a Merit Lage token, a 9/9 Golem token, and finally a second Pathraiser. The prison stops the Eldrazi token and the rest of the creature's attack. Ravos' Wood Elves in front of the non-trampling Sundering Titan, and we take 3 damage from Scion tokens. At the end of the turn, Zegana discards to Survival the Fittest to get Phantasmal Image, a fine clone by any cloning standard. On the team's turn, Zegana finally plays his 3rd land. Roon contemplates casting Ixodron to flip all the Horde's non-token creatures, getting around Sundering Titan's land destruction effect. Roon ends up casting it, and then Zegana casts Phantasmal Image to copy the Horde's Merit Lage. A 20/20 flying indestructible for 2 mana isn't that bad. Zedruu plays a second Ghostly Prison, this time called Propaganda. Gitrog Monster just ramps more with Cultivate. Gitrog Monster has Sorin in hand, who could set the Horde's life to 10, but the Horde doesn't really have a life total, so we decide it doesn't work. And with the legendary Zedruu the Greathearted, we'd probably just shuffle back in anyway. Prime Speaker is holding Void Slime though, which may be relevant. Gitrog Monster casts Centaur Vinecrasher, which is 9/9. Thanks, Sundering Titan! On the Horde's turn, it first casts Desolation Twin, bringing a friend, and then for a second draw of the turn, Bane of Balaged, which has Foe Annihilator. The Horde attacks, the prison stops Merit Lage, and an Eldrazi token from attacking since they are the largest. Gitrog Monster and Roon each have face-down creatures, which they use to block the Horde's face-down creatures. Prime Speaker blocks the 9/9 Golem with his Merit Lage token. The team then takes 4 damage from unblocked Scion tokens. At the end of the turn, Zegana drops Genesis for Peregrine Drake, for part of the combo machine he's building. He then casts Peregrine Drake on his turn. Roon casts Coiling Oracle, and Secure a Tribe Elder. And then tops that off with Sensei's Divining Top. If Roon is really playing Roon, he is not casting a whole lot of ETB creatures. Zedruu could consecrate a Sphinx here, but instead decides to play it conservatively by casting Darksteel Ingot, holding on to Unexpectedly Absent to hopefully nullify at least one of the Horde's draws next turn. The Frog Monster casts a 6-mana Demonic Tutor with Diabolic Revelation for 1, getting Cabal Coffers. He then plays it and casts Sewer Nemesis. That is a weird name. Let's all just take a second to reflect on what a weird name that is. Gitrog Monster chooses himself. On the Horde's draw phase, Zedruu puts Bane on top of the Horde's library. The Horde attacks, things are stopped, Merit Lage blocks an Eldrazi, and the team takes 14 from 4 unblocked Scions again, and 1 unblocked Eldrazi token. On our turn, we start by playing out our power players, with Zedruu playing Consecrated Sphinx, Roon playing Elish Norn, killing all the Horde Scion tokens. Gitrog Monster plays both Sorin Markov, and Garruk Relentless. Frogman and Zegana both cast Green Warden of Murasa. Zegana returns Peregrine Drake to hand. We realize that we can't stop the Bane of Balaged, which means we're going to get hit by its exile effect. Therefore, I cast a useless Pithing Needle, with plans of exiling it anyway. Sorin Markov domes the Horde for 2 damage and 2 life. The Horde draws its first card, putting a Scion token into the graveyard from Elish Norn, 1 Eldrazi token, and then casts the first All Is Dust of the game, getting rid of almost all of our stuffs. Zegana and Gitrog Monster return cards to hand when their Green Wardens die, and Zedruu returns the Artisan Kozilek to the Horde when the Grasp of Fate gets removed. For the Horde's second draw, it casts another Artisan Kozilek, returning a Desolation Twin, who returns an Eldrazi. The Horde has its first all-out attack of the game and triggers the Bane of Batman Ged. Zedruu takes 2 for the team, exiling Pithy Needle and Howling Mine, which is seen as more of a liability at this point. Since it doesn't block any of the creatures, the team takes 57 damage. Ouch. Zedruu casts Zedruu the Greathearted and Illusions of Grandeur combo. Roon has an overloaded Cyclonic Rift at the ready, but doesn't cast it because bouncing illusions will just make us lose 20 life. And Gitrog Monster has Urborg Cabal Coffers combo, which he uses with the returned Diabolic Revelation to find a ridiculous amount of cards. All of this doesn't matter though, since Zegana has the unfairest combo of them all with Peregrine Drake Deadeye Navigator combo, which he uses to get unlimited mana. And he then can draw his entire library with bouncing Prime Speaker Zegana with the Deadeye Navigator. He does this for quite a few minutes until he realizes he can just Blue Sun Zenith for 1,000 or whatever to make the Horde draw that many cards, thus killing the Horde since it can't draw that many cards, and loses to the empty library unable to draw rule. Not sure if that works since it's the Horde, but just in case, Zegana can bounce all the Horde's creatures with Tidespell Tyrant, and then when the Horde casts them all again, Zegana could instantly make unlimited mana on the Horde's draw phase and Void Slime, countering every card and stifling every ability with Eternal Witness Deadeye Navigator combo. So either way we win due to the craziness that is the color blue. So it looks like we once again survived the Horde, and the Eldrazi Horde nonetheless. The Horde had one really devastating hit, but other than that, I'd say we got pretty lucky. The Ghostly Prison propaganda stopping Merit Lage from attacking worked wonders. For most of the game, we never really had much of an attack plan. It was more of a survive plan. This actually might be the first gameplay where we attacked the Horde 0 times. If it hadn't been for Zegana's shenanigans, we might not have been able to win at all. I think people typically prefer games that end in combat damage. The empty library draw rule might have been the only way we could have won, getting around Emrakul's or Kozilek's shuffling the graveyard back into the library, which would have happened had we been attacking. Okay, that's it for now. What did you guys think? If you're disappointed the Horde didn't win, don't worry, we're going to tune in a bit and play it again soon. In the meantime, feel free to check out these other games of Horde we played, including the original game of Horde, where we squared off against the Deadly Zombie Horde. Wow, that was the longest gameplay we've done in a while. Gotta go!
I just wanted to find this and then see how it works. Blue Sun Zenith and deck for lethal.
Then I guess we win.
What happens if it draws cards?
That was the question. Like, that's the only way I can think of to get around like shuffling the whole graveyard, and is just make them draw out a deck and they lose to not drawing.
That would do it.
Oh, because they all come into play, but then they go to start their
they
turn.
go to his hand.
Right.
Okay.
And then they get cast on his upkeep.
But like, if he's at 71 and I go draw 90,
Then yeah.
you lose the game because you can't draw the 72nd card.
Okay then.
Oh, actually. Oh, yeah, just right now. Say you draw 80 and it can't draw 72. Okay.
We did it. We survived.
Here I was getting all nervous.